Hello and welcome to a video about the new Pilot Kire-na. So the Kire-na highlighters are a new Pilot highlighter with some unique coloring. Now, when I first swatched these, kind of as you see them here, I just kind of assumed that these were going to essentially be kind of like dupes of the Zebra mild liners. However, because I've been doing a quite large swatching project, I have discovered just how unique these colors are. So in the first part of this video, we're going to discuss the new Kire-na and its features. And in the second part of the video, we're going to be swatch comparing to other highlighters. The colors in this range, as I said, just really surprised me, so it's going to be quite a lot of swatching. So the first part of the video where we're just talking about the Kire-na and its really good features will be just for some of you, and then you can bail out of the video when I start the swatching. But if you're someone who loves color and color comparison and loves it when I do extensive swatching, the second part of the video is definitely going to be for you. Okay, so first, let's talk about this Kire-na. So the Pilot Kire-na, as you can see, comes in 5 what they're calling pale colors and 5 more standard or bold colors. And you can get them as individuals, or you can get them in 5 color sets. Now, right now, and I think this is probably just for a limited time, the 5 color sets are coming with a free grid, kind of like a small pencil board that you could use as a ruler or that you could use behind your page for lines. So several different ways you can use that just for writing and highlighting, more neat. And then also the 5 color sets come in these reusable vinyl cases. I guess I would call it like a thin vinyl case. So they're trying obviously to be eco, so it's not a super fit or a super thick vinyl case, but it is a nice convenient vinyl case. You take it off at the perforation and then you've got this sort of nice portable way to keep them together for as long as you'd want to do that. And again, plus your free gift there. So this is the 2 different 5 color set options. They come in the paler tones or the more like standard bold tones. But nearly every color in this lineup is unique, and you'll find out more about that in the swatching part. So first, let me talk a little more about the features of this really nice highlighter. So the Kire-na is made to be a very clean highlighter. They've done a couple things. So they have this really nice absorbent felt tip that both enables you to highlight in a very straight line. You can really tell where you're highlighting when you're using it. You can really control it. The guidelines help you because the felt tip is it's like a squishy foam. So you actually can kind of like feel the guidelines when you're using it. And also you can kind of see here, because they've used this material that's like an absorbent spongy felt for the tip, you don't end up with these big ink blots at the end of, you know how sometimes when you highlight a line, and I'll kind of, let me see if I can show you an example. You can probably see a lot on here, but like how it can be kind of like blotchy toward the end. some of these are going to show better than others, but these, like, some of the more wet highlighters that don't have the real absorbent tips helping them out, like this new Kire-na, you can end up with, yeah, highlighting blotch, basically. So they have cleaned that up. They, again, have made it so you can highlight nice and straight. So it is a very literally neat highlighter to use. What else would I say about this highlighter? So other points about this highlighter is that it is dual-ended, of course. So meaning, you know, I've showed you that wedge end, but you're also going to have that fine tip end, like you would see on a lot of the dual-ended highlighters, like the Zebra Mild liners and such. So let's get into doing some swatching. I'm gonna put, so these are kind of the ink swatches. I'll put them over here in the corner. But what I wanted to do is get into some swatching over some pens, because I just picked some of the like common pens that you guys would, you know, likely be using, especially if you buy pens from us. And I'm gonna swatch some various inks on this really nice Japanese paper. This is a typical paper I would use. I highly recommend it for notes, highlighting. It is such a good paper. It's a Nemosine by Maruman, and I can link these notebooks below. They come in different sizes. They're just really nice. So this paper is very nice, and I'm going to be using it for this swatching part of the ink. So let me start with a Jetstream ink here. So a lot of people use Jetstream ink. It's a nice ballpoint that, you know, you would expect to be able to highlight neatly over the top of it. And you're about to find out that you can do exactly that. So, you know, turns out to be a very neat no smear highlight on most of the inks you'll try it with. So there is your Jetstream example. Let's do like a mechanical pencil next. This is just a Delgard. Again, nice, neat highlighting. The highlighter is quick drying, so that's why you're not going to end up with yucky smear. So, you know, additionally, that makes it a very nice highlighter if you're left-handed. Okay, so next, let's do the Coletto ink. Now, the Coletto ink is a juicy ink, so if there were going to be any ink that could end up being smudgy, this could easily be one of them, but I already know that it performs quite well. So especially toward the end, you can see some very faint blurring, but it is quite subtle. It's not enough that it would like keep you from using it. It's still a very nice combination. So now let's do one of my absolute favorite pens of late, the Sarasa Clip 3C, which just has Sarasa ink in it. Now this is a plain Sarasa ink. It's not any of the special non-smudging Sarasa inks, and you can see very nice. Even though it's a gel ink, it's not smudging. Now, some of this, of course, is always going to depend on the paper you're using. So it's not just the combination of the pen ink and the highlighter, believe it or not. It is a combination of like all three of the triangle of the paper, the pen, and the highlighter. So always keep that in mind. And that is one reason why in videos like this, we cannot test every combination, but I do, of course, try to mix it up a little bit. And then why don't we do like the Timeline ballpoint? This is an ink that's a lot like the Jetstream. It's a very popular ink. It's really what it is the acro ink. I should have called it the acro ink. It's because it is in a lot of Pilot pens anymore. So you're going to see this very nicely, not smudging, just like the Jetstream. And then another one that really popular right now would be like the Uniball 1 ink. So if you like Uniball 1P, Uniball 1, they're all using that Uniball 1 ink. This is a Uniball 1 feel. And you're going to see this nice no smudge result. So I think I've kind of given you the idea how absolutely nice and non-smudge this highlighter really is. Okay, so I think we've talked enough about the features of this fabulous highlighter that I can actually move on to some serious swatching here. So this is the part of the video where if you're like, oh my gosh, I do not want to watch her swatch a bunch of stuff, this is a okay time for you to bail out on the video and no hard feelings, All right, so we're gonna do the pale colors first. And let me just say, when I started swatching these, I thought all these pale tones were going to mash up very well with like zebra mild liners, and yet they don't. Very different. So this is why this is so fun though, Okay, so this is our, and do I want to use for this one? I'm going to use the Sarasa 3C because I love it so much. So this is going to be our control here. This is our pale pink right here. And let me just show you, if I were to swatch the mild pink, so this is the brush version, but it doesn't really matter. So this is the Zebra mild liner, mild pink. Look how different that is. So this is mild pink in the mild liner. So once I had these two, swatch next to each other, then I really could see like, oh, this is a much more kind of like a baby pink, rosy color with less brightness. And one thing I thought immediately was, this might be kind of similar to the mild liner that's actually the mild baby pink. So it's a newer mild liner color. Not super new, but let me see if I have it here. I should have it. Oh yeah, here's the baby pink. So there is the mild baby pink. And you can see it's so much more similar. To that pale pink. So that kind of gives you an idea on the shade, if you're familiar with those. Other ones that are kind of like too far away in terms of the shade that you might be familiar with would be like the Uni Propus light pink, which is not super far away. Let me see. Yeah, okay. So this one, So definitely different, but you know, more muted than something like the mild pink mild liner. So this one is the Unipropus. The Unipropus Window Light Pink, I think I said, yes. So hopefully that kind of gives you an idea on the shade variation for that. I mean, you can see I actually swatched quite a lot of pinks, and there were just a lot that I thought were going to be similar that were actually quite far off. So what I'm trying to do in this video swatching is kind of narrow it down for you so you can really get a sense of the actual color. So moving on from the pale pink, let's go to the pale orange. Now this color is so unique and fabulous. I love it. So we'll do it here. Okay. Now, again, very surprised when I put something like the mild orange next to it, how different it was. So this is the mild orange mild liner, which chances are you're familiar with. And, you know, much more earthy, much more earthy. So immediately I thought of one of my all-time favorite highlighter shades, which is the Unipropus Window in Smoke Orange. So I think you can see how this one is gonna be a little bit darker, but so very similar in that earthiness, maybe has more of some brown or, you know, kind of that earthiness to it. Other ones that are kind of worth comparing next to it would actually be, there is a new-ish mild liner, although not that new, called Honey Orange. Hopefully I have it somewhere. Is this it? Yeah, Honey Orange. So that one, super similar. So that gives you an idea if you've seen the honey orange or you like the honey orange, very close to this pale orange. Very happy with this color range. I don't know how many times I can say that. And I love thinking about probably how few people there are in this world that would have any interest in watching a video like this. But if you found me, great. All right, so let me see if there's any other ones I wanted to put next to that. Nothing really that I feel like is gonna be like a super similar comparison. It might be worth showing you like the Ninny Pie Light Orange, just so you can see that these really are light, you know, colors, whereas you can get quite a bit brighter even in the light tones like this one. So that is your Ninny Pie, a very pretty color, but you know, quite a bit darker, really more like carrot colored. Petra, I'm doing a video right now. Maybe I can help you later. So this is the Ninny Pie in the light orange. Okay, let's move on to greens. Okay, so next we have the pale green. And this one surprised me how unique it is. Very hard to find a similar match to this one. So first, let me show you like some mild liner colors next to it. And the reason I'm kind of like always trying to show some mild liner colors is because it's the colors people are going to most often know. So this one is just the plain mild green, so different. So this is your mild green mild liner. And if I were to do, say, the Ninny Pie, some of these highlighters you guys have maybe never heard of. So this could be kind of introducing you to some new ones. This one, let's see, is this the one I was thinking of? No, that's a way off. Okay, so this one is actually the Ninny Pie. And it's kind of this blue-green color, but it really is as close as I can get to this pale green, even though it does, you can see next to the greens, it has more blue. But this pale green is so shockingly unique for a highlighter, mostly because mild liner never did, in my opinion, a proper mild green. Because, like, I'm sorry, this is like a dark leafy color. That is not a mild green to me. But anyway, so this is the Ninny Pie in I don't know if I call this on our store light blue green or mint, but I might call it mint because that would be a better name for it. And then this one is the Ninny Pie yellow green, I think. So very unique color, really, this pale green. And I wouldn't sleep on it. It is somewhat similar to the, if you're familiar with the Unipropus window in smoke green, the Unipropus window. However, that one is much darker. So that wouldn't be a pale color at all, but it's like if this color were much darker, you'd end up with that color. And actually, I think I have it here, like side by side, where you can kind of see. It's like this color, but like way darker would be like the Propus smoke green. Okay, we are not even halfway there, so if you've made it this far in the video, oh my gosh, good for you. All right. In fact, if you have made it this far in the video, please let me know below because I would love to hear then I know I'm not completely wasting my time on these crazy swatch videos. All right, let's move on to the mild blue. Already getting bleary-eyed. So you might notice every time I'm laying these down how I'm able to control where they are in between the lines. There's no big blotch at the end. I mean, they're just so nice. They feel good when you're using them. I guess I've gushed about these enough, but I have been so shocked by how much I like them. Just because, you know, I just feel like, how can they keep coming out with better stuff? I don't know, and yet they do. All right, so the pale blue. So, you know, there's not a lot that really is comparable to this. Let me show you the mild blue, which is quite a bit brighter. So it really is a true pale blue. And, you know, maybe, so let me see. Do I have the Unipropus light blue? Because I kind of ended up feeling like that was the closest fit. Yeah, this one. So the Unipropus window in light blue was going to be about as close as I could come. But the pale blue is still more like earthy, neutral toned, still a little bit of brightness in this one, even though it's very similar. So the Unipropus light blue. All the other blues that I swatched were just either quite a bit darker or quite a bit brighter. So we're going to stop there with the blues, and we're going to go to the last color in the pale set, which is the warm gray. Now, until you see it next to the other grays, you're not going to realize how it actually really is a fabulous warm gray. Okay, so first of all, let me put it next to a couple mild liners. So here we have the cool gray. Look how different that is. And you can just really see, heck yeah, this is way more warm. It's almost like a grayish, but I never would have really noticed that, I think, like with my naked eye, if it wasn't next to another color. And so that's one thing I think is so cool about colors. So this is the, sorry, I just start talking enthusiastically about colors and then I get off track. Okay, so mild cool gray mild liner. So there's also the plain gray mild liner, which hopefully I have here. Yes, this is just the plain mild gray. Much darker, yeah. So, you know, just when you thought, oh, there's no way I need another gray highlighter in my collection, Pilot proved you wrong. I'm so impressed. And then just for the heck, let's show this Ninny Pie Gray for another gray example. And really, I mean, there just is not something comparable to this that I could find. So this is the pale tones finished. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, pale tones finished. Why don't we move on to the standard tones, which of course you think, how interesting could that be? But just you wait, because more shocking stuff happened to me when I was swatching these. Okay, so the pink. So, you know, I swatched this and I was like, yep, just looks like a standard pink to me. And then I was like, okay, let me put it next to some other, you know, just kind of like pink highlighters that I would reach for. And I just kept getting shocked. So this is like the Sakura mix line. They call it soft pink. And this one has the, you know, underlining with it. That's why you're getting that line there. So this is the mix line in light pink. Not at all. a bright pink like I expected. Here is a Uni Propus in light pink. Totally different, not at all a bright pink. We've got, let's just do like the mild liner in pink. This is the mild pink mild liner. Probably the closest match so far, but still quite a bit different. Not like a standard bright pink highlighter. What do we have yet to do over here? We've already done that one. I also swatched the Zebra Click Bright. This is a click top wedge highlighter with a finer wedge tip. So it's for when you want to highlight not such thick of a section. So this is for when you want to highlight with a thinner highlight line. You can also use it for underlining. You can even make a thinner underline by, turning the wedge on the side. Anyway, I don't want to digress too much on the various highlighters. When there is a video of some of the different highlighters, I will make sure they're linked in the video at like helpful places. That way, if you're just really interested in another one of these highlighter types I'm using, you can kind of go learn more about that. I don't want this video to become like 800 hours long, okay? But this gives you an idea. I mean, that pink, believe it or not, is quite unique because to me, it looks like just such a standard pink highlighter. And then you see it next to all these other options and you're like, holy smokes, they're all like pretty unique. It's kind of amazing because you just think it's a pink highlighter. It's so much more. Okay, that's enough of that. All right, so moving on to the next bright color. Let's do orange. Just want to make sure I'm using the right orange here. Yeah. So here is our Kire-na orange. Fabulous orange shade. And I really was not able to get too close to it. Although I'll show you what the Ninny Pie and light orange looks like next to it. It's somewhat similar. And very different from the mild orange in the mild liner. Of course, I would expect it to be. But both oranges in this Kire-na lineup look nothing like the mild orange mild liner in my opinion. Just so you can kind of see it next to a couple more. So these are going to be like nothing like it, but like show you the Click Bright. And another one that I think would be good is, why don't I show you like what the mild marigold mild liner looks like. So many different shades. So then this is the Mild Marigold mild liner. Now the Mild Marigold mild liner actually looks somewhat similar to the Ninny Pie Light Orange, but none of them look the same. So moving on to the yellow. This one was, I think, a little easier for me to find more of a match for, I thought. So let me show you the Click Bright Yellow. Not too different of a shade. And again, a great option if you wanted to do a slimmer highlight line. Let me swatch the, this should be the mild, nope, that's sugar yellow. Let me see. This is the mild yellow mild liner. Similar but lighter, or paler maybe I'd say. So that's that standard mild yellow mild liner. It's funny that I'm calling them the original mild liners lineup standard, because there was nothing standard about them when they first came out. This is the Unipropus Light Yellow, totally different. And here is, I mean, is this even, no, so this is the Sherbet Yellow Mild Liner, and it is much paler than that bright one. It's really not a comparison. Is there anything else? Well, the Zebra Fidade, which should be practically identical to the Zebra Click Bright Yellow, but this is that really nice higher end highlighter that's refillable. These are fabulous. The refills only come in pink and yellow, so you are a little bit limited in terms of color, but if you are someone who would really like an elegant looking highlighter to use in your meetings, or maybe even to gift a boss or something that likes highlighters, this is really nice. I'll link it, of course. And then, but that's, that's really the closest ones that I felt like I could get to that yellow. A little bit easier to match. Let's see, maybe, have I showed you the Sakura mix line here? Probably not. So this one is another sort of possible match for that one. Now this one also has that line if you wanted to do an underline like that while you're highlighting. But don't let me get too far off track. So this is the Sakura mix line in yellow. So you can kind of see the color compared to some of those ones that you might be familiar with. Let's move on to the next color. We just got 2 more colors to go. So we're gonna do the green next. So this is all we're comparing to. So the green, so many of the greens looked so different. I'll actually kind of show you here. The green shade that I found was the closest, but it's a very different type of highlighter, although so fun, is the Kire-na. This is a zebra highlighter that is sparkly. It really does that inky thing at the end of your line. It's like a wetter, it's definitely a wetter ink. And I don't know if you're going to be able to tell, but it really is a sparkly highlighter, which is so fun, but similar shade. Whereas if I were swatching the Click Bright Green, it's going to be quite different. The Unipropus Window in lime, no, this is light green. This is light green. If I have the lime, I will swatch it here so you can kind of see. I think this is the lime. No, that's a light green again. Might not have the lime, but it's not a match, so it's really not even close, so you're not missing out. Let's see, any other greens that I wanted to show you before we move on? Well, I mean, I have been trying to swatch a lot of mild liners with all of them, just so that you can get your bearings for each color. And so this is going to be your mild green mild liner, which you can see is so different. And let's finish up with the blue here. Okay, let's finish up with the blue. Congratulations if you've made it this far. Okay, here is our blue. So one I want to show you would be the Mark Plus. Now this is the Mark Plus in light blue. But I would say it is somewhat similar. This is the Unipropus light blue, which is, you know, you're getting lighter there. So we're kind of losing that boldness in that blue. The Click Bright is going to be much brighter. So it kind of pulls us in an entirely different direction. Oh, you know what? I think I switched these up a little bit. So this one that I'm calling the Mark Plus, that was incorrect and I'm sorry. That was actually the Ninny Pie in light blue. Okay, we almost made it to the end of the video without a color mistake there, sorry. This is the Mark Plus in the, I think they just call it blue. And that's, you know, somewhat close, still not right. Have we done the mix line blue yet? With the orange underline. So this is the mix line. So hopefully this has helped show you just how very unique these colors are, very unexpectedly. I'll kind of show you some of my original swatch papers again, because I fill pages and pages like trying to compare colors, and it seemed like I could just keep swatching and I wasn't finding identicals to this lineup. So, point being, I highly recommend the Kire-na if you like adding, shades to your highlighter collection. Really fun new shades, very impressive highlighter, just the way it works. It is amazing. I'm super impressed. Good job, Pilot. All right, we're going to end here finally. As always, if you have any questions, do not hesitate to ask. I'm happy to help where I can, and I will talk to you all soon. Bye-bye.